promise it's decaf. It's late. What time is it? It's 11:02. We're decaffing it up tonight. I will say I'm quite the hypocrite because I proclaim how much I hate eggs, and yet what am I doing with the Gudetama mug? Literally an egg character. I think the egg character's kind of cute though. I still hate eggs, but kind of a cute egg. Never thought I'd call an egg cute. I forgot that I wanted to wear my pajamas. Dang it. Gotta change. Jammies have been acquired. Do I want to like lay down while I do this? No. I don't think laying down is a good idea. Should I like... Should I like doe a deer? Please somebody stop me. We're just gonna sit. Oh, not the feet. No free feet. Putting on the fake glasses too because I just need something to distract from the hair. I'm still very upset with the hair. Where's my notebook? Oh, it's over there. Dang it, I need my notebook. Testing. Is this mic working? I hope this mic is working. Hey, hi, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing back a series in a different format. I am bringing back, oh, not me itching through the glasses. I'm bringing back my Books Before Bed series. This was a live show series that I was doing on my channel, but then I got anxiety. Anxiety took over my body. Anxiety took over my brain, and it just became a lot to handle for an anxious boy. So I scrapped that and stopped doing it, but I wanted to bring it back because I like talking about books before bed. I was originally going to turn this into a podcast. As you can see, I've got the setup here. I've got the fancy mic, the headphones for the aesthetic. And then I was like, what am I doing? I am not the type of person that needs to be running a podcast. That is the last thing that I need to be doing. That's the last thing that me, Jesse, needs to be doing. I even paid a friend to make a graphic. Insert fancy graphic here. Books before bed. I need a jingle. Somebody make me a jingle. Anyway, instead of the live stream, instead of the podcast, this is now just going to be a series on my channel. It's going to be more cozy, more chill, more relaxed. I'm probably still going to like overly edit it because that's just like in my veins. Like I can't help it. Once I get into my little editing machine and edit the videos, the chaos just erupts. Trying to work on being more chill though. Trying my best. I've got a few sheets in my notebook of things that I wanted to talk about today, so let's dive into some topics that I want to talk about today. Let's talk about some topics. Trying to work on being more chill though. That's the second page of topics. We gotta get to the first page of topics. We're organized on this channel, as you can tell. We're so organized. This mic was a bad idea for me. First topic of the day. I need a jingle for that as well. Today we are talking about reader identity. Ooh, reader identity. Ooh, I've just been thinking about this a lot. It's been something that's been like weighing on my heart. It's not been weighing on my heart, but it's just been something that I think about a lot. I think about a lot of bookish things at all times. One in part because I make content about books, so I constantly am thinking about bookish things, but then also like I read all the time. Books are everywhere in my life, so it's just natural that I think about books all the time, but I've been thinking recently about my current reader identity. I hate the word eras right now. Like I'm kind of over the word eras. I feel like it's one of the words that's just like overused right now. But with that being said, let me just be a hypocrite again. I feel like my reading life really flows in the format of eras. Like I have eras within my reader life. I go through different phases with different genres and themes and tropes that I just like love to consume. And I feel like right now I'm kind of having a crisis because I'm not like latching myself on to one specific genre, which I know is not that big of a deal. This is like such a first world problem, but it's just been something that I've been wanting to talk about and see if anybody else is like feeling similar to me. And I don't know if this is like a mood reader thing. I'm currently era-less in my reading life and it's bothering me. Normally I'm like latched onto a specific genre, whereas right now I feel like I'm all over the place. One, I don't know what I want to read. I'm still reading a lot, but I don't know what specifically I want to read, what tropes I want to consume, themes I want to consume, ideas, all those things. Like I'm just like, I don't know. I guess I should give you like an idea as to like what some of my past reading eras have looked like. I'm so sick of the word eras. I need to drop it. I've said it too many times already. I knew this was gonna happen. I knew I was gonna get on here and be like, era. All of 2021 up to like fall of 2022, I was in my contemporary era. All I was reading was contemporary books. Like every now and then I would read like maybe a sci-fi, maybe a fantasy, but really I was just only reading contemporary stories. And that's because I was going through like a big shift in my life at the time. And so like reading in general was kind of hard for me. And I find contemporary fiction to be very easy to consume. Whereas things like sci-fi, fantasy, sometimes those things can be hard to swallow. It's rough going down. Anyway, then fall of 2022 to winter, I was in my romance era, which was just such a very confusing time for me, but like all I wanted to read was romance books. That was a weird time in my life. I still love romance books and I still want to read more. I've been like really enjoying that genre. I have so much more of a respect for it than I had prior to that moment in my life, but it was a confusing time to only be craving books that focused on romance. I've talked about this at links. Like, I was a romance hater. I was like, I wanted nothing to do with the romance genre. And then I just had a complete flip. If I could flip right now on camera, I'd be flipping. It was a moment. It was a time. But I'm glad that I had it, and I'm excited to continue reading more romance books. Then I had like a small Dark Academia moment, and that's because I did like a read and rank Dark Academia video. But I do really enjoy the Dark Academia kind of like subgenre. I just feel like we're a little bit oversaturated with it currently, so I'm not really in the mood to read Dark Academia at the moment. And now I'm lost. I don't know what I want to gravitate towards, and it's really not that big of a deal, and I know that I'll figure it out. I'll probably like go to bed tonight, wake up in the morning and be like, this is going to be my next genre. I have just been feeling this way for like a couple months now, where I just don't know what my direction is with my reading life, and that's okay. It's an exciting time to explore different books and try out different things, and I definitely have like books on my list that are kind of a part of these reading experiment videos that I do that I'm really excited about and will get me to like try new things. I guess I should talk about like themes and tropes that I typically gravitate towards. I feel like the theme that I'm like the most known for like loving is death in books, and I kind of want to like explore different ideas than just books about death. Like, I do feel like I need a bit of a death hiatus. Been a little morbid over here. And then I feel like tropes that I gravitate towards, found family is definitely a big one. Are there any other tropes that I gravitate towards? I know that there are. I am so forgetful these days. My brain is dead. I should have added more notes. I need to be better at making notes for these videos. I need to like tattoo the things that I love on my forehead. That reminds me actually of another point. I'm gonna write it down. We're gonna come back to a point, okay? After I get through this reader identity point. This whole reader identity, reader era thing kind of bleeds into my book buying though. Typically when I'm in one of my eras, I'm so sick of that word. What's another word? When I'm in one of my reader. I can't think of anything else but eras. Typically, when I'm in my reader era and I go to a bookstore or I go to the library, I know what genre I want to read from. So I go directly to that section in the library, in the bookstore. I know what I want. I'm good. But now I go book shopping, I go to the library, and I'm like, like it's concerning how much of a meltdown I have when I walk into Barnes & Noble or when I walk into the library. I'm just like overwhelmed, overstimulated. Is there like a book therapist out there? A reader therapist? I guess you guys are my reader therapists. How do I get through this? How do I figure this out? No, I know the answer. The answer is to just read books. Once I read books, I will figure it out. Like, I will find what my current reader era is going to be. But again, it is kind of nice to like not be tied down to a genre right now. It's a nice time to explore different genres and things. I feel like I should like predict some of my next genre. I will say that I feel like I'm kind of getting back to like a fantasy moment, which I feel like I've been saying that for 2 years, but I really feel it now. I have been reading the Poppy War trilogy. I have a vlog on that coming very soon. I just read Chain of Iron? Can never remember the title. Other than that though, I feel like I've read like some contemporary stories that had like very trippy elements in them. I guess Bunny was like Dark Academia. I'm just very curious to know like where I will land, what genre I will land in and just be like obsessed with. I have a shelf in this room that has a bunch of books on it that I want to read for videos, and I'm seeing some sci-fi, I'm seeing some fantasy, I'm seeing more sci-fi, I'm seeing some superhero stuff happening over here, some classics, which I don't really feel like I'm entering my classics era. I don't really foresee that happening. I thought that I was going to enter my classics era winter. I was super excited. I had this video planned, and then I read Moby Dick, and it was a dick to get through. I'm not a Moby Dick hater per se, but I'm not a Moby Dick lover, that's for sure. That book just like didn't do it for me. Whoa, what was that demon voice that just popped out? There is like one topic that I do want to read books about. Not necessarily like nonfiction books, but I want to read fiction books that have this element in them. And that is parasocial relationships. It's just something that I've been thinking about a lot. And I want to read books that explore that idea because I feel like it could be incorporated in stories in a very fascinating way, in a way that could be like executed very well, depending on how it's done. So I want to read books with parasocial relationships. So if you have any recommendations for me in that area, let me know down below in the comments. But also tell tell me like what you feel like your current reader identity is, what tropes you love, what themes you love, what genre you're tied to right now. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Next up, actually let's jump back to a point that I had. Where was that point? I had a thought. I just wanted to mention the fact that like I have had so many moments this year where I didn't realize an author I love is coming out with a book. I'm normally somebody that feels like they're like pretty on top of it when it comes to book things. Like I am heavily involved in the book world. I'm a booktuber. I'm a bookstagrammer. I'm a book talker. I'm not really a book talker, but I like the idea of being a book talker. I have a book talk account. I'm a book Twitter. I'm not a book Twitterer. I hate Twitter, but I'm very involved in the book world, and I have had so many moments where a book has released by an author I love and I knew nothing about it. Should I blame that on the algorithm where the author's content wasn't pushed out to me so I didn't see it? Or the publisher's content wasn't pushed out to me so I didn't see it? Or did I see the posts and I just forgot? That's what concerns me. But anyway, there were a few books that came out. First up was Big Tree by Brian Selznick. I love Brian Selznick, which I have this book now. I went to a Brian Selznick event. That vlog's coming soon. I've got lots of vlogs up my sleeve. Go in there and you will find lots of vlogs. Which reminds me, he also released a book in 2021 that I knew nothing about. Kaleidoscope. I knew nothing about this book. I didn't find out about that one till I found out about Big Tree. What's going on? I don't like it. And then Suzanne Park, who has come out with several books that I love and who is criminally underrated. Loathe at First Sight, A Perfect Escape, Sunny Song Will Never Be Famous, just to name a few of my favorites. Anyway, she came out with a book called The Do-Over, and I knew nothing about it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What's going on? How do I stay more on top of it? I feel like I'm already really connected to social media, probably too connected to social media. I feel like I have a good boundary with social media in a way where like I'm able to interact with it and then also have time for reading. But I don't know how to like interact with it, stay up to date with all the books, and then also have time for reading. How do people do it? What is the next topic that we're gonna talk about? The Hunger Games prequel. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. We got a trailer drop and the internet was shooketh. It's a fantastic trailer. I have mixed emotions about that book. I am very interested to see how it's adapted on the big screen. I honestly feel like it's going to be one of those situations where I might end up liking the movie more than I liked the book. The book overall wasn't bad. It's just like the things that happened in it. It made me feel numb. Like the whole time I was reading it, I felt numb. I didn't feel good. I felt very uneasy the whole time, and I'm, again, interested to see how that's translated through the film adaptation. But with this movie coming out, something that I'm so curious about is if we're gonna have another dystopian wave. Are we gonna have dystopian 2.0 wave, where dystopian books are coming out left and right? If you were there for the first dystopian wave, you know what it was like. Like, that's all that was coming out. The only genre that was popping off there for a while when the Hunger Games came out was dystopian. It was actually crazy. I think the only thing that we've really had close to that yet is dark academia. Obviously, we've had other things like vampires, but that was before the whole dystopian wave. But no other genre has really popped off in the way the dystopia genre popped off there for a little while, and how the vampire phase kind of ran books there for a while. I'm just very curious to see if we're gonna have another dystopian phase. I don't know if I would be mad at it. I just remember that like there towards the end of the dystopian phase, I was so over it. I did not want to see a dystopian book. The thought of one gave me a headache. The publishers were still pushing them at us, and I was pushing away, saying, no, 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 not today, Satan, not today. Going back to vampires, I feel like we had an opportunity to kind of have like another vampire wave, but it just didn't really happen. Like there for a while, we were having a lot of vampire books. We even got like a reboot of Vampire Academy in the form of a series, which has now been canceled. And I just feel like vampires have not had their like second surgeons. I know that there were a lot of like books that were vampire related that were released pretty recently, but like none of them made the impact that Twilight did. And that makes me wonder if we'll just never have that again with vampires specifically. I know that we'll have some kind of genre that will come in eventually and make like a huge impact, and we'll be filling the charts and we'll be filling the shelves of the bookstores. But I don't know if vampires will ever be the head of that again. I might be the only one that thinks this though. If you guys disagree, let me know down below in the comments. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. I will say that I feel like romance has been like really all over the place lately, but romance has always been around, and I feel like it's always been pretty popular. It's just like more so popular now on like the social media sphere, whereas it was kind of looked at way back when as like shameful to read romance books, which it shouldn't have been. But the times have changed, and I'm happy about that, even though there are still book snobs out there that are like, romance. What was that voice? Ooh, next, I have a question that I was thinking about when I was thinking of the songbirds of salads. The songbirds of salads. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. When a movie comes out for a book you've read, do you lose your own built-up image of that character after you watch the movie, or are you able to like maintain that image that you paint up of the characters? That question just came up when I was thinking about The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and then I was thinking about The Hunger Games, and I really cannot remember how I pictured those characters. I did read them around the time that the movies were like announced and whatnot, but I don't think that I read them when they had been casted or anything. So I definitely had my own image in my head of what they looked like. But those characters poofed out of my mind and I don't remember what they looked like. All I can picture when I think of Katniss now is Jennifer Lawrence, which I'm not mad at. I love me some J-Law. I know the internet hates J-Law, but I love her. I'm literally over here trying to think of other book to movie adaptations and I'm blanking. Let's talk about The Maze Runner. I don't remember the image of the character that I painted up. Why is that low-key kind of sad? All I can picture is Dylan O'Brien. I will say something that's kind of interesting. I read the Percy Jackson books like really late in the game. The movies had already released, but I was still able to picture what the characters looked like in my mind on my own and not use the actors as like a base for the characters. And I can still picture what they look like. So I don't know if it just like varies with what book I read and the impact it has on me, but I feel like The Hunger Games had like a big impact on me. So I'm surprised that I can't remember what image I painted up in my mind for those characters. The Maze Runner didn't really have that big of an impact on me, so I get why that one doesn't like pop up into my mind. But anyway, that's just something that I've been thinking about. Let me know your thoughts on that down below in the comments. Are you able to maintain your own image of what the characters look like in your mind, or do you lose that when you see a book to movie, book to series adaptation? Let me know in the comments. I feel like I had other things that I wanted to talk about, but I don't have any more notes. I guess I can close this out by talking about what I'm currently reading. And of course, it's not in the room with me, so I'm gonna go grab it. I'll be right back. I'm currently reading Burning God. By the time you see this video, I hope to have finished it, and I hope to still be alive because this book is literally crushing my soul. Sometimes it's nice to have a book come into your life and crush your soul. In this case, it is an honor. It's an honor to have my soul be crushed by you. Burning God, burning my soul. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys are reading, but that is it for today's episode of Books Before Bed. I am going to post this like later in the evening, so we'll see how it does. Probably will flop, but that's okay. I'm a flop tuber currently, so it's fine. In my flop era. Somebody please shove your hand in my mind, find the word era, and rip it out of my head, please. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright. Ooh, it's evening. I hope your evening is dark. And that tomorrow is darker. Keep reading what your heart desires. And I will see you soon with a new video. Also, let me know down below in the comments if you guys like this video style. Like, should I do more? Should I? Let me know. Okay, love you lots. Oh! You could see it on my shirt. Embarrassing. Okay, I'm running away. Books before bed. Books before bed. Books before bed. Hey, hey. Lord help us all. Help us all get through this. We're gonna get through this.